This is a video update for the group that owns Fetiche de Rouges. Well guys, we took Radish up to the Jersey Horse Park up in Allentown, New Jersey to compete the Open Intermediate. Now the Open Intermediate's a level lower than what he's been competing. The last couple competitions that Luke's done have been 4-star. If you remember, his last big show was the Bromont 4-star, which was absolutely massive. So at this time of the year, the ground gets a little firm and there's not that many big time events going on. So I took the opportunity to take him to just a little bit of a easier class and have a bit more of a therapeutic ride around. Obviously at Bromont, we really had to push ourselves to get around that huge course and to take Radish to a slightly easier competition. I thought it was good for him to have a bit more of a relaxed ride around, and I have to say he performed quite well. These one-day events are challenging with Radish. You know, basically you wake up at 4 a.m, you put the horse on the trailer, you turn up at the event, you open the trailer door and you get about 25 minutes to warm them up for the dressage, then you put them back on the trailer and then you whirl them back out and you jump the show jumping cross country and then you head home. And it's quite challenging for Radish just because he is a bit of a nervous hot horse, sort of a spooky horse, you know, and sometimes it's very, very hard to get a really soft through dressage test with, without an arena familiarization or a pre-ride, or usually at the big competitions we get there the day before, even the really big ones we get there 2 days before. So this is not his best dressage work. However, it's not too bad. He was, the biggest thing is it doesn't look it on the thing, but he has a little bit of trouble staying sort of round and soft through his body. And he loves, and it's a little bit his conformation, he loves to sort of get a little hollow in his frame and his neck and a little rigid through his back. So, and at the same time, he gets a bit nervous and looking around at the surroundings, so it's a bit of a double whammy. So it wasn't our best dressage, but it wasn't disastrous. Pretty much all this trot work we got 7s on, 165, but the bulk of the test you're seeing here is 7. Obviously, when it's really, really important, we're at the big competitions, we need to go up a little bit higher. So he got a score of about 32.7, which is sort of like 68%. Saying that, when it is really important, we'll be able to get Radish into the 20s and above 70%, no problem. The training's been going well with Radish. Obviously, one of the hardest things at this time of the year is the ground gets a little firm. So with this competition, the show jumping and cross country the ground was a little hard, and at the same time, I think it does Radish good to just canter around a little bit slowly. Radish by nature is a very, very fast horse, but he's also a bit of a lunatic, and sometimes if you ride him too fast all the time, it's like giving sugar and red cordial to Silver's kids. It fires them up a bit. So this weekend was more of a schooling show, and I have to say I was very, very pleased with the way Radish behaved in the cross country. The cross country is obviously the make or break of our sport, and Radish is getting more and more settled between the jumps, which is great. Thinking long term, one of my goals, I believe, with Radish this year is to try and aim him towards the Malvern Park 4-star long. That's in October. This event will qualify him for 5-star for next year, and it's sort of an event that would suit Radish. It's it'll be like a 10.5-minute course, big jumps, same designer as Bromont, and nearly 4 miles long. So all of a sudden the speed and stamina and endurance will come into play at Malvern Park. And so that's towards the end of October. So at this time of the year, it's more just training. We're still doing a little bit of fitness work, but like I said, it's hard in the summertime when the ground gets firm. I think if he comes through this event well, I plan to take him show jumping in a couple of weeks and jump him around the meter 30 tracks. Obviously, he's a fantastic jumper, and like the cross country, the hardest thing is sort of getting him settled between the fences. And even though this was in an intermediate course, the thing I liked about his round here is that he wasn't sort of charging at the jump with his head up in the air. I feel like with the training that Peter and I have done with him, he's starting to get a little bit more settled between the fences. By nature, Radish is a super careful jumper. He just doesn't want to touch the fences, and so the hardest thing for me as a rider is just trying to keep him relaxed and steadying him without fighting him before the jumps. And it's easier said than done with Radish, especially here because the cross country is sort of going on at the same time. So as you show jumping him around this course, he's sort of looking out of his outside eye, watching these horses gallop by, and can be a little bit challenging on our wild Frenchmen. Training wise, we've been working, I've been doing obviously a fair bit of dressage with Silver, and then Karen Shooter, the USEF sort of team trainer, has been coming by and helping me a little bit with him. And then Peter Wild, obviously, is every time Peter's here, we're working away with Radish's jumping. And then cross-country schooling, I'm basically cross-countrying him whenever we get a big hit of rain. So, when the ground's in good shape, then we take him out to the cross-country schooling area and give him a whirl around. Radish gave me a good round cross-country, and I'd say the one jump I've got to keep an eye on him with, and he's never stopped or anything like that, but sometimes he can be a little bit spooky going into the water jumps. I believe this is the water here. And usually on these courses, there's 2 water jumps, and this is the first one. And he's tiny little bit spooky and nervous going into the first water. And like all the other competitions, he's a lot better the second water jump. So the last water jump on this course, he actually jumped really well. So like I said before, my goal was just to give him a nice sort of slow, easy trip around the course, and trying to avoid these moments where I'm sort of wrestling him too much. So that was the first water jump. It actually went pretty well, but I feel like this moment of a little bit of a spookiness or hesitation at the first water jump each time, and then usually the second one, which I believe is on this video, he's better the second time. And so this is the end of the course, and all in all, guys, on paper we just went quite steady and slow, but he gave us a good round, and I'm very pleased with the way he is, and I think he should have a strong performance at the end of the year at Morven Park, and we're slowly building him up towards 5-star, but I believe once we get there, he's going to be a fantastic 5-star horse, just because that's what he's born for.